The Australian Open 2023 is here, and this is my prediction. So guys, stay tuned.
Tell us how you're feeling. Wimbledon champion again.
I mean, obviously over the moon with joy and happiness of experiencing this moment once again. I've said it many times, this tournament is extra special for me because it has been the first tournament that I've ever watched as a kid that got me to start playing tennis.
Hello tennis guys, and welcome to my channel. So the prediction is here, and I know that some of you don't like the prediction, some of you like the prediction, so if you don't like it, just skip the video. And this is for the fans of predictions. And I will begin with an information that you can cast your own prediction on my channel, because I've prepared several votings, and the only thing you need to do is you need to head to my YouTube channel. You need to click on the community table, and there are six polls where you can vote. You can vote for the men's section and also for the women's section, and each of the categories is divided to 3 votings because YouTube allows only five votes or 5 different names for each of the polls. So I needed to make 3 of them, so there are 15 names you can choose from, and of course you can write in the comments your own favorite player. So the first votings, or the first 2 polls, are direct top 10 seeds in the tournament, and the third poll is for my 5 honorable mentions. So players who are out of the top 10, but players who I believe have chance to go really far in the tournament. So enjoy this voting, and you can cast votes anywhere you want. And as I mentioned before, just leave me a comment if you didn't find your favorite player there, and just write it so we know who is your future champion maybe. So now I will start with the information that is really simple for me to actually talk about. So my favorite for the men's part is, without a single doubt, Novak Djokovic. Why? Australian Open is his favorite of the all Grand Slams. He has won it 9 times. He is a master on the Australian Open. He loves the Rod Laver arena. He loves the night sessions. And we know he is super motivated because last year he wasn't allowed to play because of the COVID thing. He's not vaccinated, etc. We know that it really hit him. It really hit him right into the heart. But the rules are rules. We can talk about it from this side or from the other side, but everyone who accepted the rules was allowed to play there. So finito la commedia. Okay, now he is allowed to play there. He's super motivated, and what struck me the most in some of the interviews is that he's finally said open, in an open way, that the reason why he's playing Australian Open and why he loves it is just that he was very successful there, and he just wants to be the best player in the world, guys. So finally one of these top goats, Roger is not there anymore, so of these top 2 goats, Nadal and Djokovic, said it in an open way. And Djokovic for sure wants to be the best player in the history of the sport. Nadal, I believe he wants to also to be the best player in the history of the sport, but he is not talking about it He's just doing his job, and when it happens, just it happens. But Djokovic is really, I believe he's really having that warm in his brain, and he's the one who is really craving for to be the best of the best. So yeah, that Djokovic, he's a winning machine, and Nadal is a true fighter in the best spirit of tennis. So we have nice seats, nice table of players, and I will start as usual with the big names, and I will focus only on the big names because I really don't have the time and I don't really know about the other people that much, and it is quite easy for me. So in the first quarter of the draw, we have these really good players. Is Nadal, of course, number 1, Hurkacz, Denis Shapovalov, yeah, he's number 20, but still I believe he has some potential. Sebastian Korda right now playing fantastic. And then we have Daniil Medvedev. Don't underestimate this Russian, because he can beat anyone. He can beat anyone. He proved that. And sorry guys, I need to say that I believe that in the fourth, it will be the fourth round or the quarterfinals. No, in the quarterfinals, Nadal will meet against Medvedev, and Nadal is going to lose to Medvedev. Sorry to tell you straightforward, but this is my opinion, this is my feeling, because Nadal's health is always a question, especially on the hard court, because the hard court is actually this type of hard court, the Australian Open, is super demanding. So some people are saying that the Roland Garros is the most demanding and most difficult tournament to win, but not for Nadal. We know that for Nadal, Roland Garros is like feeling home. So for him, not. I believe for him, the Australian Open is actually the most difficult tournament to win, because he won it only 2 times. Only 2 times. That's not that much, guys. And when you compare with Djokovic 9 times, it is actually uncomparable. So Nadal is not a favorite on this surface, because it is super demanding on the knees, on the joints, on the way how you move on the court, which is very special with the sliding. So the sliding is actually much easier on clay. But when you slide, and these guys, all of these guys nowadays slide on the hard court, it is super demanding on the body. It puts super stress on the body, all the braking, all the tough running and turning, and changing of the pace, of the rhythm. The joints suffer like crazy. So it is similar, let's say, to the US Open style of play. So Nadal is going to lose, in my opinion, in the quarterfinals, and he will and Medvedev will reach the semifinals. Of course, Medvedev is always a question. His mind can be pretty corrupted, let's say, in some situations. So I hope he will push, or he will get into the form he had like 2 years ago when he played really well. And last year I didn't really like Medvedev so much. I think he struggled in some situations, and he was overthinking some situations and acting, and I didn't really like his performance. But I believe he can put him together and reach the semifinals. So who will be in the semifinals against Medvedev? That's the question, and my answer is it will be Tsitsipas. So the second quarter of the draw looks kind of easy for Tsitsi, because there is Tsitsipas, then there is who's there? Sinner, Yannick Sinner, then there is Cameron Norrie, and well, yeah, we have there our Czech Lehečka, Jiří Lehečka, but I don't think he will be a threat to Tsitsipas. And then there is Felix Auger-Aliassime, and that's all. That's all. This quarter looks kind of easy for Tsitsi. So I believe the biggest fight for Tsitsipas will be Auger-Aliassime in the quarterfinals, but he will win because of the more experience he has. And Auger-Aliassime can play really well, very aggressive, but he doesn't really have the plan B, let's say, or plan C, because he's pushing, shooting the balls like crazy. But if his game doesn't really work, then he's screwed. He's screwed. And that's something he needs to learn. So I believe Tsitsipas will reach the semifinals and he will face Medvedev. Now, who will win? Medvedev, Tsitsipas? That's the big question. And my answer is, I have a feeling for Medvedev. I feel like Medvedev actually, I believe he enjoys playing against Tsitsipas because maybe they have some things in common, but I believe that Medvedev can put him together better in the most crucial situations during the match. And still, I don't believe Tsitsipas. He still feels and looks and plays and acts on the court like a very young guy. He needs to mature. He needs to grow up. He needs to, in my opinion, get rid of his parents. He needs to get rid of his, I mean, in a good way. I mean, in the way that his father is always somehow coaching him on the court. I don't like that at all. I don't like that at all. And I think this is a problem for Tsitsipas. So he needs to say to his parents, like, don't talk to me, don't give me any advice. I'm good enough to really solve the problems myself. And that's what's still, I believe, missing. That's still missing. And they need to solve this, let's say, problem at home, not on the court. And yeah, I hope that some days Tsitsipas will solve that problem, and he will grow up and he will step up against his father and against his, let's say, parents, and he will grow up. And when that happens, Tsitsipas will be really, really one of those guys who will have potential to be a future number one. Now, the third part of the draw, fourth of the draw is interesting because there is Djokovic as number 4, but we also have there Rublev. We also have their Kyrgios. We also have their Holger Rune. We also have, let's say, John Isner, who is always threat on the hard court. I know that John Isner isn't really into Australian Open. He doesn't really like the tournament for some reason. Maybe, I don't know, it's too hot there or something like that. He doesn't like the surface. But he can be a threat to anybody if his serves just works and he moves great. There is also, let's say, Grigor Dimitrov. Yeah, not in his best shape of his career. He was a really prophet of the tennis a few years ago, but he's struggling to find his rhythm, to find his real identity, how he should play. He is the small, let's say, Federer, the Federer from Bulgaria, but I don't really think he will be successful in beating Djokovic, because Djokovic is his opponent in the third round. So Dimitrov against Djokovic, has he some chance? I believe almost zero chance. So the biggest match will be in this part of the draw, Rublev and Djokovic in the quarterfinals. And what can happen? What can happen? Djokovic will win. Djokovic will win, in my opinion. Rublev will be super motivated against Djokovic. Rublev can play great matches against these big guys, but again, Rublev's problem is in his head, and I've made also some video how he acts on the court in an aggressive way sometimes when he smashed the racket with his hand and he was bleeding and acting like a crazy man, actually, like a crazy man. And he needs to also mature and grow up and get rid of these these mental issues. But against the best mentally prepared guy on tour is the Djokovic, it will be very tough. So I believe Djokovic will win and Djokovic will reach the semifinals. Now the last part of the draw, we have pretty interesting draw. I think that the fourth part of the draw is actually the craziest one, because there are lots of really good players and wow. So we have Fritz, number 8. We have Diego Schwartzman, always great guy, always great fighter. We have David Goffin, he's not by any means a favorite there. He's not even seeded, but yeah, Goffin, we all know that the name. He can play some great tennis if he is in a good form, so that's why I'm mentioning him. Then we have Alexander Zverev. He's coming back from that issues and injuries, and he's seeded number 12, always a threat. I think he's on the same level of the mentality like, let's say, Rublev, Tsitsipas and Medvedev. So sometimes he's really great, he can play he can be very focused, but sometimes he's not on the court. He's thinking like I don't know where. I don't know. He's like outside the court. But if he gets his head, his mental part of the game, if he set ups it correctly, he can go far. But I believe it will be not the case. He will face Fritz in the 1, 2, 3, 4th round, and Fritz will win against Zverev, I believe, because Fritz is now playing fantastic tennis, the best tennis of his life. Now we have Matteo Berrettini there. Berrettini, always a threat the last 2 years, let's say. Fantastic, fast forehand, really good movement, really good perception, really good focused performance, guy that is flexible, moving well, hitting hard, playing clever, nice slice shots, brutal forehand. I'm really enjoying watching Berrettini. He's one of those guys that has everything, and he is a very nice guy also. So not any troubles on the court with like smashing rackets, etc. So yeah, Berrettini will at least reach the 4th round, but there will be Ruud. But before Ruud, we have also Bautista Agut. So seeded number 24. He is a great fighter, he's a great contender. He's best on clay, obviously, because he's from Spain, but he got better and better. He can play on the hard courts. But there will be Berrettini in 3rd round for him, so I believe Berrettini will beat Bautista Agut. But still a name, a honorable mention. Okay, and the seeded number 2, of course, is Casper Ruud. Casper Ruud road to the semifinals will go through Czech player Makac, then there will be O'Connell or Brooksby, then there will be Davidovich Fokina or Bublik or Struff or Tommy Paul, we don't know, and then in the 4th round will be Berrettini I think with the overall play style that Ruud can produce, his variable way of thinking, his shots, his positioning on the court, his movement, he will excel against Berrettini. And then the most important match for him will be against Fritz. That's the question. That's the question against Fritz, because Fritz is playing very hard, and Ruud's game. But the Ruud's game, that's the good thing for Ruud, is also based on a great defense and the kind of waiting approach, waiting for his shots. He's very patient. So I believe Ruud will, in a very interesting match, beat Fritz. And there we have it. Semifinals, Djokovic, Ruud. Djokovic, Ruud. So, guys, I think Djokovic will, at the end of the semifinal, dominate Ruud. But that can be the best match of the tournament. So the semifinals, Djokovic, Ruud, can be the best match of the tournament. So when I sum up the semifinals, so first semifinal, Medvedev, Tsitsipas, I believe Medvedev will win, and the Djokovic, Ruud, and I believe Djokovic will win. And there we have it. The final is Medvedev, Djokovic. And who's the favorite here? From the mental side, without a doubt, Djokovic. He is a champion. It will be his 10th possible victory. He wants to grab the trophy just to get in touch with Nadal in the number of Grand Slams. And at the end of the day, overcoming him, because that's his main priority right now. Because he said that he wants to be the best in the world. And from this point of view, it will be a very stressful match, I think, for Djokovic, because you know what's in the bag for him. But at the same time, his experience is telling me that he will beat Medvedev, because Medvedev can be sometimes very uncomfortable in these finals and in the important phases of the game, and in the way Medvedev plays. I believe he will be also very tired in the final, and Djokovic is actually like almost never tired, or sometimes he feels like he's tired, like first set or second set, but then he magically switches the button and he goes in turbo mode, in gut mode, and he is unbeatable. So I think Djokovic will dominate the men's Australian Open in 2023. Guys, there you have the men's prediction. I won't really be focusing on the women's prediction, just few words at the end of this video. Swiatek. Swiatek is my favorite, because this girl from Poland is the future of the tennis. I hope she will manage her some struggles, because she can also struggle in her mind, in the mental side of the game. He has absolutely everything. She plays one of the fastest tennis on the tour, maybe even the fastest. She is brutal. She doesn't really care who she plays. And when she is in that focus, she's really unstoppable. She moves great, and the only thing that can stop her is the doubts. So when the doubts go through her head, she looks kind of very uncomfortable on the court, unsure. And also we know she's a special really person. She has a special personality, and that can make winning the tournament for her very complicated. Now, an extra thing I want to talk, because I'm from the Czech Republic. There is something fantastic. So we have in the Czech Republic history of tennis players, and especially the last, let's say, 10 10, 15 years, we have great women, one of the best in the world, actually, one of the best double players, or the best double players in the last couple of years. Great players in the singles we have, and we have there in this year's Australian Open, I need to count that, but I believe we have there like 10 women in the main draw from the Czech Republic, from a small country with just 10 million people, from the country of the heart of Europe. And guys, that is just insane when you compare it with the big tennis states and the countries in the world. We are actually like the third biggest tennis country nowadays, thanks to women. So we have there, I will just read the names because maybe you are not familiar with them at all if you don't follow women tennis. So we have there Bouskova 1, we have there Muchova 2, we have there Fruvirtova, that's the qualifier, that's the youngest player. We have actually two Fruvirtovas. They are sisters. They are, I think they are twins. And the Fruvirtova sisters, they are just guys 15 years old, but they play like 25-year-old. So that's the Brenda Fruvirtova. Watch her name. That's probably also the future of the women's tennis. Then we have Barbara Krejcikova, Roland Garros champion. Then we have Sandra Bejlek, another qualifier. She is, let me look at her name, 16 years old. God, 16. When I was 16, I was like playing, I was lucky to play some tournaments in the South Bohemian region. So that's the fifth name. Then we have great champion Petra Kvitova. So that's the sixth Czech player. She's 32 years old, so is the oldest, or one of the oldest there. Then we have, what we have? That was the sixth Czech. Then we have Pliskova, Karolina Pliskova. You know her. That's the seventh Czech name. She also is a little bit struggling with her tennis right now in the last couple of months. So that was the seventh name. And then we have Martincová Tereza. That's the eighth name. You know, the tattooed girl. She's 28 years old. So that was the eighth name. And is there one more name or not? Yeah, there is Linda Fruvirtova. Okay, Linda, sister of Brenda, and of course she is also, no, she's 17 actually. So they are not twins. Sorry, I was mistaken. So she's 17. That's the older sister. Nowadays she's 80 on the WTA. And there is the silver 2020 Olympic medalist Markéta Vondroušová, 23 years old. Did I count 10? Yes, I believe 10 names. 10 Czech names in the women's category. That's absolutely crazy. And you know, guys, in the Czech Republic, we have beautiful women there. One of the most beautiful women in the world, actually. And we have also great tennis players. So, guys, let me know in the comments, what do you think about my prediction? What are your predictions? So, as I said before, Djokovic and Swiatek for the win for me. And guys, if you like this prediction, just click the thumbs up, comment, share, do whatever you want. Just interact with me and with the other people that are following my channel and commenting. And as always, you can support my channel by buying me a coffee. Now I have only I have tea there, and you can click the thumbs up. You can buy me the super thanks button. Click the super thanks button, and I will get some of your love through that. Yeah, we know what does it mean. It's money, but yeah, just a little bit to enjoy coffee, tea, or just to buy an overgrip, for example, for my reviews. And of course, you can also support me by any other means. I have also a PayPal link in the description, so you can send me whatever you want if you feel that need. And you can visit my merchandise store with 4 beautiful designs. You can put them on t-shirts, you can put them on cups, on a coffee cup mug, you can put them on many other stuff. You can buy puzzles, you can do very, very many things with those designs. And I have their design of Nadal, the Einstein design, a little bit crazy Nadal. Then I have Novak Djokovic, the chosen one, a very optimistic design. Then I have the very serious one, the god of tennis, the Roger Federer, very nice design. And I have also a very nice design, I believe it's the most beautiful design from all these 4 designs, is the Serena Williams, the goddess of tennis. And man, that looks so beautiful. And for all of these 4 designs are unique. You don't find them anywhere else, just on my Tennis Guys art shop on the Threadless server, on the Threadless for the Threadless company. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and as always, enjoy tennis, play tennis, watch tennis now, every time, every day with the Australian Open. And as always, enjoy the Manooovrlbity. Bye guys.
You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious! That ball was on the line!